Hey guys, in this week's episode, Mike and I are going to be talking about our recent round at Mansion Ridge. We're going to talk about what went well, what went terrible, and what we learned so we can get better next time. We're also going to talk about some new giveaways we've got going on Instagram, as well as some new workout routines we're trying, and a whole lot more. So stay tuned. This episode of the Golf Podcast is sponsored by Canvas Pop. Canvas Pop makes it easy for you to turn any photo into a piece of art, and each one comes ready to hang on your wall. Mike, I got to say, that 16 by 20 you sent me of the Golf Podcast logo, it's awesome. Amazing quality, and what I love is how it's made right here in the United States. I'm already thinking of all the Facebook and Instagram photos that we upload daily. Now I can easily turn them into gorgeous canvas art or a custom framed photo print.
Well, I am glad you liked it, Frank. And the whole process took me just a few minutes to complete. I mean, Canvas Pop is probably the easiest gift idea. We all struggle with finding the perfect gift to give someone. And now with Canvas Pop, in a few minutes of your time, your gift is created. I mean, people love getting printed canvas photos, Frank. I know I do. And with Mother's Day coming up right around the corner, make sure that you get that special mom her Canvas Pop print, but you need to order it by April 30th at midnight to make sure that it gets there in time. And they're giving all Golf Podcast listeners an amazing 50% off their first order when you use the coupon code GOLF at checkout. Or you can visit them at canvaspop.com and get your order in now.
Hey, as an entrepreneur, you're always focused on the next big deal or doing better. So being 100% tax compliant might not be your main focus, but tax problems can appear out of nowhere, and the stakes are high if federal tax liens poison your name. The IRS can hit you with massive penalties for a technical violation. They can even revoke your passport.
Yeah, scary stuff, Frank. And that's why you need a tax firm that understands the entrepreneurial mindset and knows that your energies are better spent elsewhere. You need a firm with core competencies and proven systems to solve the most difficult tax issues. Simply put, you need Irs Medic. They were co-founded by a Gulf War veteran who went to law school at age 59 and his son who graduated law alongside his father. Irs Medic understands the stress of IRS uncertainty and enjoys the challenge of finding workable solutions for its clients around the globe.
Yeah, so don't wait. Go to irsmedic.com/golf to get help with your tax challenges today. That's irsmedic.com/golf.
Welcome to the Golf Podcast, presented by Golficity, where we bring you the tips, instruction, and support you need to get the most out of your golf game. And now your hosts, Frank and Mike.
All right, so we got a fun show for you today. We're going to be going a little bit off of our normal pattern of talking about a specific instructional topic or having a guest on the show. And this is something we're kind of returning to, which got a lot of great feedback from our listeners last year, Mike. When you and I got a chance, we played around together and we just kind of talked about lessons learned, what went well, what didn't go well. So this year, we talked about it a couple episodes ago. We're finally into the golf season again, and we've made the commitment. You and I are going to get together. We're going to play a lot more often. And as part of that, we're going to kind of bring our audience along for the ride. So one thing that we did that was a ton of fun was putting that whole Instagram story together. You know, so if you're not already following us on Instagram, follow us at Golficity. Also, we just launched our Snapchat account at Golficity. So it's just more ways. We love the stories. We love those quick 8-10-second videos. We get to stitch them together. We get a little competitive out there. Mike, we had a little closest to the pin.
That's right.
You know, just ribbing each other a little bit on some of the bad shots, having a good time with the good shots, you know, putting the Pro Tracer on. So it's just a lot of fun. And then the other thing we're doing is trying to put all that into our Facebook group, our dedicated Facebook group. If you're a first-time listener, check us out on Facebook. Just search The Golf Podcast under groups. You're going to see us pop up. 100% free. A lot of our listeners are in there just engaging with the show, telling us what you want to hear. And this is where we can kind of post those behind the scenes and in between episode stuff. But I'm looking forward to that because that was a really fun, exciting round. We're going back out again this Friday. We're playing Wild Turkey, which is a totally different setup, totally different track. And we're going to talk on the next episode about how that went, trying to string together all the different instructional stuff that we've learned over the past 164 episodes and just kind of decompress it. Because look, we can talk about that instruction all day long, Mike, but it really comes down to execution. And no matter what, everyone's going to, slip up and forget things. And you and I, we make mistakes, and we learn from them. I think as long as you come off that course with a couple things you're happy with and a couple things you learned, you're a better golfer for it,
Yeah, I learned a lot. I got to tell you, that round was actually, I was happy with it. Coming off that terrible first round of the season, this was the second round of the season with you. And I remember I had all those 3 putts. So a lot of things got better. I know we're going to talk about them later on, but you're absolutely right. I always say this, I learn a ton. It's great advice. Play with people who love the game as much as you do. Yeah. Because when 2 students of the game playing together, you learn so much. I'm a believer in it.
I'm so behind that. And the other thing too is be humble out there. Right. If somebody's going to I know a lot of guys don't want to hear, especially if they're not playing well, they don't want to hear it. They don't want the advice, whatever, but take it. What's the worst? You hear it, and it doesn't work for you, whatever. But honestly, I'm the type of person, I'll play with new people, like, yeah, look at my swing. Tell me something, it doesn't mean I have to apply all of it, and I don't let it get in my head. I think that's what happens. Some people let it get in their head and they start making too many changes, because trust me, I'm going to analyze something before I make a change in my swing, but you never know. Another set of eyeballs, maybe somebody sees something I don't see, maybe something in my putting stroke or something with the way I'm lined up or any type of advice. That's the way to do it. Kind of funny, similar sidebar. Years ago, I took up fishing, right? And I knew nothing. And I'm just like, I'm just going to absorb this. I went down to the local, gear store, just went up to the guy, who's there. And I'm just like, listen, I don't know what I'm doing. Just set me up with the basics. Set me up. And then what I did, the first thing I did, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just joined a fishing club. Right. So it would just like force me to go out there, in these little tournaments, get in these guys' boats. And I'm just like, guys, I'm here to help and I'm all ears. And I just picked it up and I learned so much. And so much similar things can happen with the game of golf, and if even go out as a single, it was so hard, getting that tee time, right, Mike? We took the really early tee time and we had to book it a week in advance. But the night before I went on just to see what tee times were available, almost everyone was available for a single. Because there's a lot of threesomes out there and stuff like that. If you're single, you have the world is your oyster for getting a tee time, and you get paired up with some new people. You learn some new things. So it's all about just being humble and just getting out there and trying new things.
I'm telling you, I can't tell you my tempo at all. I'm not the one to tell you what my tempo looks like. It's always the guy in the tee box watching me. Yeah. I can't feel it. I think it's hard for me to feel it because for me, it's a natural swing. So totally agree with you there.
Yeah. Your last drive was your biggest, right? Yeah. Played, I think it was, what was it, on 17 or 18? You hit a booming drive. And it was because before that, you weren't seeing it. You were really speeding it up and you had a couple tough drives. And I'm like, oh, it's too fast. Just slow it down. It's so contrary to what you would think, like that feeling, like a slower, it's like quote, like slow it down. And then all of a sudden it's so much better, distance. It just doesn't make sense. But sometimes you just need that. You just need somebody in your ear to say it. But
right. Absolutely.
Anyway, before we get into that, first, today is National Golf Day. So happy National Golf Day.
Happy National Golf Day. That's every day in my household for me.
Yeah, exactly. But that was cool. I wish I could have gotten out to play today, but it was rainy, cold, and I had just too busy of a day to get out there. But it's kind of cool seeing stuff going around on social media for National Golf Day. The other thing I want to give you a quick update on, do you remember a couple episodes back, I talked about my personal goal to be able to do 100 push-ups?
Yes.
All right. So listen, I've been sticking with this thing, and I know you were busting my chops that first day saying, what is this, day 2? But I'm a couple weeks in now. It's that app that I'm using called Just 6 Weeks, which you just plug it in. It kind of goes whatever. I'm on week 4 right now, and I'm just kind of looking at my chart. And I'm up to my most recent one. I did, in 5 sets, I did 109 push-ups. So I'm really seeing progress. I started off my first week, I could do 57. And now I did 109. So
wow.
I'm getting
nice,
there.
Man.
My ultimate goal is to be able to do 100 straight. But right now, it has me doing 5 sets. So I did, and you do a 60-second break in between sets. I did 22, 24, 26, 22, 15.
And what was the most you've done in one set?
That's my most, in one set?
Right.
26 right now, but I don't max out in each set. It tells me what to do.
Okay.
So it each week, knowing like it tries to get you a little bit further, it makes each set a little bit more, and then you try to max out on your last set. So it's pretty fun. It's cool. Like I'm doing it, but because you're like the gym guy, you're like there every morning. I want to pick your brain. I want to find out a little bit how to get motivated, because my goal has been to get up early. I have a gym at the bottom of my hill, to jog down to the gym, hit the gym for 20 minutes, and then jog back. Right. So I'd be running about 3/4 of a mile and whatever. But I tell you, that 5:30 a.m. alarm clock hits me, and I'm like, no, I'm like, no way. What do you do? Cause I see you like on like Instagram and stuff like that. You're at that gym early. Like, how did you get over that hurdle?
You know, it's tough. I think you have to get through that first week, and you have to commit. I mean, that's like anything else. You got to commit to it. You know, for me, Frank, it's the toughest to get out of the bed. Once I get in the car, forget it. It's time to rock and roll. I'm all amped up. You know, I've had my little energy shake. I'm ready to go. Even whatever, it doesn't matter. 5:30, 6:30. It's just that initial out of bed. But the feeling when I leave at 7:15 or 8:15 or whatever class I go to, knowing that, you know, the rest of the day I don't have to do this and I'm fully energized. It's night and day. Have you worked out before work before?
No. See, the other thing is I used to always work out later, like after work and stuff like that. I used to always go to the gym, but ever since having kids, forget it. It's out the window. Like I got to get home, help with dinner, do all those things, you know, get the kids, you know, bathed in bed. It's just not going to happen, because by the time I'm done with everything, it's 8:30, and the last thing I want to do is a hardcore workout session before hitting the sack. I can't. There's no way to do it. Really, the only time in my day, if this is going to happen, it's got to happen early.
Yeah, and you know what? Just tiptoe into it. You know, do like Tuesday, Thursday, and then, you know, do your other at-home apps, things like that. Eventually, when you have enough stamina and strength and you're getting up and you're loving it, it's kind of fuel for me. Yeah. You know, the alarm goes off, I'm like, let's go. I get all amped up for it.
Do you like prep stuff the night before to make it a little bit easier? Like your shake or something like that? I mean, are you getting up crazy early to like make a shake, get dressed, do all those things? What are you doing?
You know what? It's just like it's like an Advocare Spark drink. It's just like a vitamin drink. It's powder and water, and I just drink it on the way out in a water bottle. So that's the easy part. But, you know, don't make the mistake that I made last week. Is I skipped a shake and got a Dunkin' Donuts cold brew at 5:30 on an empty stomach. I was shaking on the whole time I was there. It was bad news.
That's a disaster. I guess that's what I got to do. I mean, the more that I leave that I have to do before I get out there, it's not going to happen. If I wake up with that list of things, I think I'm just going to like just throw on some shorts, a t-shirt.
Sleep in them.
Yeah.
Just sleep in your workout gear. Wake up and run down the hill. Do your thing. Come back. That's it.
I don't know. I think I'm going to give it a shot tomorrow. Let's see. If it's not raining, it's been pouring all week, but if it's not raining, I'm going to give it a shot. But all right. Anyway, a lot to talk about our round. So let's do this. Let's do a quick word from our sponsor, and then I want to break it down. I want to talk about where we were, what we did, and anybody who followed along, you know, watching on Instagram, we can kind of fill you in on how that went. So let's do that right now, and then we'll jump right into it. Hey guys, you may know the USGA mostly for their 14 annual championships and competitions. Their championships are widely looked upon as the ultimate test in golf, but there's a whole lot about the USGA you may not know.
Yeah, their scientists are focusing on important health of the game solutions, including helping golf facilities, reducing their reliance on water. Their innovation team has come up with a resource management app that helps course superintendents know how to better allocate their resources and help ensure a better experience for all golfers. Plus, the USGA's handicap system helps level the playing field and makes the game more social.
And along with the R&A in Scotland, the USGA is modernizing the game's rules. They're even asking us for feedback that you're invited to share with them online anytime. There's a lot to love about golf, and the greatness of the game brings out the best in all of us. Discover more at usga.org. All right, Mike. So you and I, we got out there, we played, we hit that early tee time, the 6:40 tee time. I'll tell you, we were joking about for working out. I got no problem getting up for golf.
Yeah, no problem at all.
I jump out of bed. I'm like springboard out when it's for that. But got there. I was there early. Crack of dawn. I hit the range. I'm out there doing everything I can.
I got to stop you there because you got to talk about how you called me. What time is it? It was like 6:30
I called you in a
6:32.
panic at 6:30.
In a panic.
Yeah.
Where are you? We're like, our tea time is 6:32 or something. I'm like, Frank,
I was in a dead
it's
panic.
6:48. Come on, get your numbers together.
Because you know why? You booked the tea time on Golf Now. For some reason, I saw it earlier. I thought it was the 6:38. It was really the 6:48. And when I went into the starter, I'm like, Fasano, 6:38. And he didn't correct me. So I'm like, all right, I'm running down. I'm like, where's this guy? Where's Mike? I'm running down there. I'm hitting a couple balls. Now I'm starting to panic. I'm like, we got to be on the tee. I'm like, where are you? And then you pick up the phone all chill and you're like, what's the problem? I'll be there in a minute.
I had 12 minutes till tee off. Talk about a pre-round routine. But let me tell you something. There's no pre-round routine coming from this guy at that hour in the current phase that I'm in with having a baby. Sleep is crucial right now.
You got to take everything you can get.
Exactly.
But yeah, I hit it. I tried to hit the range because you know me, if I don't warm up, my back is a mess. And that was, going into something like this, those lessons learned. The first thing for me was the first couple holes, if I missed, you saw how I missed. I topped it. You know what I mean? Hit the top of the ball. I struggle with, and again, it's knowing your game. I struggle with when my back is tight and when you've got like that, a cold early morning, I just have a lot of trouble getting down to the ball, and I end up with those every once in a while just flubbing it, and it's frustrating. I mean, you saw it. We were kidding around on Instagram when I just kind of like dropped my club because I was playing the easy layup shot and I still flubbed it. But that's this part of my game where I still struggle. I gotta be warmed up, and that the orange whip has been the biggest thing for helping me. It really helps me like kind of get those muscles loose, pulling my back down towards the ball. But man, I struggle with that.
What's good is that you stopped doing it later in the round. Your game came alive later.
Yes.
I remember, which is good. I mean, for me, I want to take it back to the first hole for a sec because, we kind of got off to a rough start. I think you went left. I even took a breakfast ball, and I normally don't really like taking those, but I topped.
Well, that's what you get when you walk from your car to the tee box.
Yeah, I didn't really deserve it, but I think I doubled the first hole, but here's the funny part about it. So I want to set everyone up for this. I hit my second shot or my first shot redo right down the fairway, and I have about a $120 out to a nice little big green downhill, little soft. I think it was a 56, and I go to my bag and I realize I don't have my putter. Okay, now I'm like, oh no. So right away, two shots into the round, I already have this in my head that I don't have my putter. So, of course, I had to borrow Frank's putter the entire round. And what's even more annoying, and I feel so bad for you about this, is that you had to delete my shots off of your Arcos all day.
All day. So I don't know. The two guys we got paired up and must have think like, what are these jerks doing playing with one putter? We're like, yeah, we got a golf podcast we run, and we can't even we can't even remember all 14 clubs. So
we can't even bring them, and it gets even better because 3 holes later I forgot I didn't have my 9-iron. So I played with 12 clubs, and I played 8 shots better than I did the week before with 14 clubs.
Yeah, but you got a good excuse. Is because you were at a short game clinic at Baltusrol just 2-3 days before.
Yeah,
which the clubs are probably still sitting.
Probably left them there. No one's found them yet, and I call every day, but we'll see what happens.
That's funny. But yeah, that all of a sudden we get to the first green and Mike's like, listen, man, I got to use your putter. And I'm like, all right, but I told you, if you play well with it, I'll sell it to you. Yeah,
exactly. But, it's funny because, I mentioned that rough start, and then I think the next par 3 was just a nightmare as well. I think I went double-double, a 6-5 to start it, which was bad. I mean, I played well for my game for a second round of the season. But the key point here, Frank, is the fact that we both settled down. Why were we so off in the beginning?
Well, first of all, I don't like to make excuses for us, but it was also our first or second round of the season. For me, it was the first real round of the season, not playing temporary. So it's just like, you got to give yourself a little bit of slack. And a lot of people listen to this, they're right now, if they're especially living anywhere near where we are, it's most likely your first round as well. Cut yourself some slack. It's going to take some time to get back on the horse, but, yeah, it just happens for me a lot, largely with my back, but I learned one thing really quick, Mike, and it really helped me with my game. When I started to turn it around, I made one change. And we talked in plenty of episodes before about swing thought, right? And just have one swing thought. And I just did this. I didn't try to change anything with my swing. I didn't try to change any like swing path, anything crazy. I just said, Frank, 70%. just swing everything at 70%, because the second I get fast, that's when that happens. My back is tight. I top the ball. I do something stupid. And from the moment that I did that, all of a sudden my drives are hitting the fairway. I'm sticking shots. I hit a great 8-iron, into that one green, setting up birdie putts. You and I played that one. And again, that course was incredibly challenging and beautiful. Jack Nicklaus designed track. That one par 3 all over the water into the green. We both played that incredibly well. So yeah, we settled down because largely that's a big part of it is getting back into your rhythm. And just reminding yourself of what works. And that's what it's got to be. I think the hard part you got to do is you got to make sure that it doesn't become a mental game, snowball rolling downhill. By getting frustrated, we both had bad first 2 holes, but if we had gotten frustrated with that and start just letting the wheels come off, it's going to be a problem. It's better to just recompose yourself, try to take a quick look. What's going on? What's wrong with my game? What can I adjust? In my case, it was just realizing I was way too quick. Tempo-wise, everything else, focus the rest of that day on just 70%. And what I find always amazing is when I feel like I'm swinging so much slower, I'm really not losing much out of it.
Yeah.
I was still, putting some really decent drives out there. I'm just looking here at the 5th hole, that par, let's see here. It's par 3. Mm-hmm. I hit a solid 9-iron, 151 yards, 2-putt par. And all day I'll take a 159 iron. And that's me swinging at 70%. There's no justifiable reason for me to try to swing harder, swing out of my shoes. What, to get another 10 yards, 10, 12 yards, and then have the chance of that much increased chance of hitting a bad shot? It's just not worth it.
Yeah, you stuck that one nicely, by the way.
Yeah, that one felt good.
That was sweet. I'm looking at my Arcos here, and it's funny. This is kind of cool. So exactly 1 week before the round that you and I played was my first round of the year. And just kind of comparing the two, if you recall in the last episode, I said that I made 6 3-putts. So I had 4 1-putts, 8 2-putts, and 6 3-putts. And then fast forward a week later with you, look at the difference. 2 1-putts, 13 2-putts and only 2 3-putts. I putted so much better at Mansion Ridge on much harder greens. So things were just working that day, and I actually shot 8 strokes better than the week before.
So I'll take credit for that because it was my putter.
It was your putter. So that's what it all boils down to.
That's what it comes down to. So that's it. Case closed.
Done.
Yeah, man. Look, putting, we talk about feel. That's what kind of comes with it. And I think that so much of that was that short game clinic, just in that 1 hour and a half of dedicated work on your short game. And even with your chipping, like stuff you were showing me, the stuff that you learned from that, it's just amazing how much you can pick up from it. And it's actually kind of cool. A lot of guys I see around the Facebook group, same type of thing. They've been talking about their year ahead and dedicating a lot more time to short game practice, putting practice. And I'm interested to see how everybody makes out. So make sure you keep posting those updates. If you're doing that, if you're doing anything that's really working, share it. Because not only like here where we're trying to share some of the stuff that went right and went wrong for us so that you guys can learn from that, but we want to learn from you too. So share it. If you got something that worked, if there's something that's you're seeing a noticeable progression, let us know about it in the Facebook group because it really is cool. Mike, jumping back to our round again, Mansion Ridge. If anybody has a chance to play it, really beautiful track, located in Monroe, New York, which is about 45-minute drive north from the city, from New York City, something like that. We see a lot of guys come up from the city to play it. Beautiful, beautiful track, beautiful layout, very challenging, a lot of elevation changes, which by the way, we've had some suggestions in the Facebook group as well to cover elevation changes in the future. We're going to do that on a future episode. But man, the 9th hole, that thing is a doozy. That's the one where you had the par double 5 carry, with the double carry. And this whole course was carry happy. I mean, everything was like long carries and stuff like that. But yeah. And that hole too, I was a little bit annoyed because I really thought I played it smart. I hit a nice drive, right? And I didn't try to do anything crazy. I'm looking at my Arcos here. It was a 250-yard drive right on the button, just middle of the fairway. and then unreachable in 2 because it's all the way uphill. And then there's another carry that you can I was trying to assess it, right? So if I hit to try to carry it over to that next landing area in the fairway where you can then go up towards the green, it would have been a 200-yard shot, right? So I could have pulled out a 3-iron, a 5-wood or something like that. Instead, I chose the smart play. I laid up with just a wedge, 100 yards, which left me 130 in, roughly 130 in.
Where'd that one go?
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
I thought I hit a beautiful shot. I came up
You were so close.
short of the green. And unfortunately, the funny thing we were all joking about on Instagram, just short was that tough embankment of just that long, shaggy grass. And we were zooming in on the ball. It was buried. You and I were in the same spot. It took me 2 shots to get out of there because it was just dug in. And I thought, I'm like, here I am. I'm playing it smart. I'm playing it well. It was just that small difference in not getting my distance right, because I was into the wind uphill. I thought I had enough club. One more club, I would have been dancing and putting for birdie. Instead, I get out of there with the bogey. Actually, no, double bogey because the fact that it took me 2 shots to get out of there. So that was a tough one. That was a tough pill to swallow because I really thought my plan was there. It's just one little slip up in your execution, and that's what you end up with. But that's golf.
That's golf, man. So you've learned, was it wrong club choice?
That's what it was. I think what that really comes down to for me is, I think it is better just to club up one and not have to have I was trying to do like the perfect distance, but it also comes down to knowing the course. I think if I ever played the course again, I would not make that mistake because it was an elevated green. I didn't know what was behind it. I didn't know if it was dangerous to be long. I didn't realize how dangerous it was to be short. If I'm playing that again, you learn, like I said, learn from your mistakes. I'm going to play the same way, driver, layup shot, and then I'm going to do one club up. And I think it's the perfect way to attack that. I would have been on that green.
All right, we're going to have to go back and try it again.
We got to go back.
That's an excuse. Frank, I got to ask you a question. What's your stance on cart path only? Because I have a feeling it's going to happen again on Friday.
I know. Hey, you get your exercise at least.
It takes me out of it, man. You got to I'm taking the bag. I'm going for a walk. I don't know. Maybe it was too early in the morning for me. Any other point of the day, I would love it. But no, I don't mean to go on that tangent. I wanted to ask you about that, what hole was that? The par 5, because you're talking about par 5s. That one you made a double bogey. How did you play the par 5s, all 4 of them? Can you check that?
Yeah, let's take.
Because I have a question about these. I'm looking at mine, being that I have my data available before you. I played it 3 over. Is that good? 4 par 5s on a course, 3 over. Is that respectable for my handicap? Knowing my handicap, or are those ones you need to make par better?
Well, we had that whole episode where we talked about really wanting to attack par 5s and how to do it because of the fact that very often those are the most scoreable. But there's a caveat to that. This track was tough.
Yeah.
And it was designed that way to make those par 5s challenges and to make you think. And that's what I like. I like being forced to think out there, Jack Nicklaus, when we're designing this course, definitely had that in mind, making people think, because none of the par 5s we played were ever just hit 2 big balls and then you'd be like a nice short wedge in. It just wasn't. It was always something. It was always something that was in the way. There's a layup area here. There's something there where I don't think I ever hit. Like what I would normally do on a long par 5, I would hit like driver and then 3-wood, 5-wood, right? I don't think I hit that combo once. I think I was mostly hitting driver, that hole. I hit driver wedge, then 7-iron, whereas other ones, I remember I hit like driver, 5-iron, and then hit it like a 7-iron or something like that because it was like a lot of that like hop, skip, and a jump type of thing.
Yeah, so I'm going to be happy with +3. Now that you just explained it that way.
I think +3 is really solid there. I'm just looking at my Arcos here. I don't see where you can just quickly pull up what you were for par 5s. I'd have to run through it.
I just looked at the scorecard and I looked at the those 4. But that 1-5, man, when I went in the woods and I had to move the rock because I didn't want to take an unplayable, I just wanted to get it back. That was not a difficult 5. You and I both screwed that hole up. We had a lot of things out there that were scary. That long carry, the bunker on the left, the woods on the right, the water down by the green.
Yeah.
But, Hey man, the fives there are tough. It is a tough course, so I'm going to take that +3 and run to the bank with it.
Take that, because I'm looking at par fives beat me up. They really beat me up, and that was part of it. That double bogey on that one. But I'm looking at my par fives. Let's see, 1, 3. I went 4 over on my par fives, so that's solid.
Yeah,
that's solid.
That's solid. And you know what? We ended well. I mean, 18.
I don't know. I didn't end well.
You didn't end well. That's right.
No,
Sorry.
I put a ball in that guy's backyard.
That's true. You did not end well, but you know what? And I'm so angry that your phone died right at that second shot in.
I know. You hit that perfect shot. And as I'm videotaping it, my phone dies.
Its phone died. It's one of my favorite holes in the area that I play. And it's one of the best closing holes around here, Frank, because you have this long, like 400-yard plus par 4. And then when you get to your usual landing zone for your drive, you're right downhill about 230 yards with all water on your left.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like the last hole at Congressional, if anybody knows that hole. It's similar. It reminds me of it. But I had 230, and I had the ball was like 3 feet above my feet. I was elevated.
Yep.
And I took my hybrid, and I choked down on it, and I hit it perfectly onto the green. And, of course, your camera died.
Of course.
And I ended up, that was one of the ones I 3-putted, unfortunately.
But I posted in the Facebook group, and I took Austin Powers' advice. He said, get yourself a portable charger. That day when I got home, I ordered one. So that this way we will not have that problem when we're out at Patriot Hills, actually at Wild Turkey this week. I'm going to have my charger with me so we don't, because I felt bad. We're putting this whole story together on Instagram and nobody knows how it ends. But
right.
That hole, that was just like, again, you just sometimes have to take the bad luck when it comes, just say that's golf. I hit my drive, I pushed it left. And then what I tried to do, I tried to just play a nice little 8-iron layup that would leave me, another quick wedge into the green. At that point, I was just playing to save my par, maybe save bogey, because that drive was that way. And then just caught that bad luck, pushed it a little bit too far right. It hit the cart path and took off like a rocket. It's really tight down that cart path, and it ends up in this guy's backyard. So we went over there to look at it, and what was there, Mike? There was like 15 balls.
15 balls back there. Yep.
So there must be a lot of people who make the same mistake I do.
Right.
But then once you put that second shot OB, at that point I was just scrambling, and I tripled that last hole, which really annoyed me because I was putting a decent round together, especially on the back. On the back I was just 4 over on the back heading into 18.
Oh wow.
And that's where my game really, it just kind of came apart, which is a shame because for that track, I'll take that all day long. I was saying so much of it kind of reminded me of like a little bit easier, obviously Bethpage Black, with the way that a lot of those setups were elevated, hitting into elevated greens, small greens too. A lot of small greens out there. So
yeah, well, this Friday it'll be a lot easier. Course is much more forgiving. It's prettier course. And if you really want to challenge yourself, maybe in May we could do our round at Patriot Hills, like you just mentioned. Yeah, that course is tough.
Yeah, I definitely want to get out there.
Yeah, for sure.
But and I hope if nothing else, this round Friday is a little drier because we were wet that whole round.
Yeah, I think we're getting rain in the morning, but we'll be okay.
You know what annoys me is we booked the tee time Saturday. We're looking at the long forecast. Everything looks great for Saturday. Rain Sunday. Turns out rain's on us the whole time. Sunday, beautiful.
Beautiful. I know.
Isn't that just the way? That's the way
it happens.
Yeah. But good time. Good time. Get out there. Learned a lot. Like I said, hopefully you guys can kind of take away some of the stuff that we learned, and use it in your own game. But as I said, if there's a big takeaways, it's just try not to change too much when you're out there. Adjust, but don't change too much. If you can handle it with just a simple swing thought, strategy, you'll learn more the more you play courses. That's why even the pros, fly into Augusta the week before and put some practice rounds in, because it comes down to knowing it, comes down to really learning that strategy. So there's a lot you can do there. But again, for the first round of the season, I think it was good. We both played well, and I think it's uphill from here. We're going to be able to do more of it.
Yeah, we just got to get ourselves to some private courses, so we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. I want to at least play one or two, big kind of semi-bucket list courses this year. We got to play some TPCs or something like that. Get out there. One I wanted to actually play is what's it? Trump Links.
Oh, Ferry Point?
Is that the one? It's like right there under the Throgs Neck?
Yeah, I played it last year. Played it twice.
Okay, how was it? Because it looks nice. Every time my wife's family lives down on Long Island. Every time I drive down there, I look at it. I'm like, man, it looks pretty down there.
It is a really nice facility. I give it that much. I mean, the course, I don't think it's worth the $300 a round, to be honest with you.
$300 for that? That's crazy.
Yeah. So, it's link style. It looks kind of like Ballyowen and some of the other courses that are near us. So for like a third of the price, you could stick to that. But if you just want to experience it, I guess see the New York skyline while you're playing, if you're into that stuff, then it's worth a one-time thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll have to check it out for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Because every time I pass it, I kind of like peek over the side of the bridge. I'm like, I gotta get down there one day.
That's not an easy one.
Yeah, don't look. It's tight, and then you're right there by the water. It's got to be windy there too in that spot.
It's windy, and if you're not on the fairway, forget it. It takes you 2 shots to get out of that fescue.
Yeah, all fescue. Remember, we did a whole episode on fescue not too long ago. But yeah, really cool stuff. So, all right, so that's what we're gonna do. Let us know if this type of show format is something that helps you guys with your game. Just us kind of decompressing what's going on, what's working, what's not for us. We're gonna try to do more of these episodes as Mike and I commit to playing more and getting out there together, and like I said, putting some of that on the social media so you guys can follow along. But let us know. We're going to be working on that. We got a lot more instructional content. All the great suggestions you guys have been sending through the podcast Facebook group, keep them coming. We're all of them in our notes. We're going to be working on them for instructional episodes moving forward, and then there'll be more that we can learn, use out there on the course, and let you guys know how it goes. So, that's everything we have. Before we wrap it up, I just want to once again thank our sponsor, the USGA. You may know the USGA mostly for its championships, but did you know the USGA is working to modernize golf's rules by making them easier to understand and apply, and that they're working with golf facilities to help reduce their dependency on critical resources, including a reliance on water, or the fact that the USGA's handicap system is used in more than 40 countries around the world?
Yeah, there's a lot to love about golf, and the greatness of the game brings out the best in all of us. So discover more at usga.org.
Yep. So that's everything we have this week. Oh yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier, but I want to make sure I recap it. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. We are trying to do weekly giveaways. As you guys can imagine, we get a lot of gear and stuff like that sent to us. We're trying to give it all right back. So pretty much every week we're running quick, easy, giveaways, contests. All you got to do, share the photos, whatever it is, and you get in on them. This week, we're giving away a bunch of golf gear, golf gloves, belts, really cool stuff. So make sure you check that out. And like I said, the cool thing too is when you're on there, you can follow us along when Mike and I are out there playing on the course. Otherwise, join the Facebook group. We'll continue the conversation all week. And we're going to be trying to post more of these episodes right on Facebook so you can listen to them there. We're trying to just be everywhere so you guys get a chance to hear us no matter what your preferred platform is. All right. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see everybody again next week.